Election day, of course, coming up on Tuesday. A local polling company says Republicans could sweep the statewide races. CBS Atlanta's Leslie Tanner sat down with Mark Rountree of Landmark Communications in Duluth to take a look at the latest poll in the governor's race and where these candidates need to be focusing their attention in the next couple of days.
All week, the candidates traveled the state trying to meet and motivate as many voters as possible. Voter turnout will play a huge part in this race, but Rountree says the most recent poll already shows some key demographics are shifting unexpectedly.
If the election for governor of Georgia were being held today, and the candidates were Roy Barnes, the Democrat, Nathan Deal, the Republican, and John Mons, the Libertarian, for whom would you vote?
That's just one question more than 1,500 Georgians were asked in a Landmark Communications telephone poll on Tuesday. The Duluth political consulting firm has conducted polls for more than a decade, and President Mark Rountree says their polls are some of the most reliable in the business.
We do a weighting system for race and gender and age to make sure that it matches the back end of who is likely to vote.
This week, Democrat Roy Barnes and Republican Nathan Deal set out on buses across the state to meet as many voters as possible. We went along for the ride, and Barnes said the statewide tour could be the difference between a win and a loss.
I don't think the metro area is going to be the deciding factor. I think outstate, particularly south of Macon, is going to be the deciding factor. I've always believed that.
But Rountree says he's not so sure.
I think Barnes is maybe trying to simplify for folks south of the Nat line the race. I don't think it's anywhere near that simple.
And Rountree says if Barnes can't up his numbers with male voters fast, he could be in trouble, partially because of the national momentum Deal and the Republicans are riding. Deal traveled this week with the entire Republican ticket in tow.
People are tired of government doing things that they don't think is appropriate for government to do. And government has gotten too big and too expensive.
Rountree says that momentum may also be why the latest poll shows a shift among young voters who had supported Roy Barnes. This week's poll showed Deal leading by about 7 points, but we'll have the most up-to-date numbers on Monday as Landmark conducts a final poll for us this weekend, and both candidates will spend the final day of campaigning on Monday flying around the state. In the studio, Leslie Tanner, CBS Atlanta News.
This side note, Landmark is a Republican firm, but they do also work with Democrats. Be sure to join us Monday night at 7 for a CBS Atlanta election special. We'll have a rundown of all the big races, and you'll hear from the candidates. And on Tuesday, election night, we will be airing a live webcast from 7 to 11:30. Go to our website, cbsatlanta.com, click on the banner at the top of the homepage, and watch it with us.
In the governor's race, a local polling company says the Republicans could sweep all the statewide races. Mark Rountree of Landmark Communications in Duluth says he's seen the most interesting political polls come out of this year's race. And he says Barnes is way behind when it comes to male voters and is also losing ground with younger voters.
What's happened in the last 2 weeks is that the younger vote has started moving much more toward Deal, and Deal now leads with people under the age of 35. That had not been the case as of a couple of weeks ago.
Landmark is also conducting a poll only for CBS Atlanta this weekend. We'll have the results on Monday.